Welcome to the coffee talk with salty Vixen Flair. Dive into deep thoughts, no topics to air.
Welcome to Salty Vixen's Coffee Talk, a place where I talk about what is on a Salty Vixen's mind. I'm an author, I'm a musician, and a mother, and I am the founder of Salty Vixen brand. Today's episode is titled, The Boyfriend Who Lied. Oh, we have all been there. Dated that one person. On the surface, he is kind and sweet and good-looking dude. Great personality. And you get on so well that you're like, oh my gosh, a relationship can develop. But that's only the surface. Because once you go beyond the surface, you realize the truth. He's an asshole and a liar. Now, I've talked about it in my vlogs and podcasts over the years that dating is a clown world. And I think thousands of people out there will agree with me. It's horrible. You know, you go on the dating apps, match, or swipe left, swipe right. And then you match with somebody and you go on a date. Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes it's like, what the fuck just happened? I talked about one that happened a few months ago, a doctor, and he's a pathologist. And he decided the first thing he sent me was a picture of a real gallbladder and then asked me out on a date. Now, the reality of it is most people would have been like, no, this is weird. But we also know how bad a dating world is. And I'm like, look, I would like to go out because I never go out anywhere, you know. And that date was weird. I remember he showed up, the body language was agitated. He really didn't want to be here, but he made his way over, sat down. After about 2.5 hours, a wonderful conversation and laughing, flirtation, and he was aroused. You know, I run a sex blog. I should know the difference, and you know what it is like with the body language. There was a spark for sure. We even talked about a second date, golfing, just something fun. And then he got to go use the bathroom and then came back down and he's looking at his phone. He's like, oh my gosh, it's been 2.5 hours. I did not realize this date would last as long as it did. It went perfect. I said, well, yeah, I told you. Dates for me is we start out as a friend and see how things go. And if there is a spark, let's move past this. The next date, be a little more flirty, you know, just start with a good friend. And that's how dates should be. Be a friend at first with flirtation, of course. And of course, my feedback on that date was, we ordered appetizers. He ate from my food, which was really annoying. He was incredibly rude to the waiter. And he never asked if I want anything to drink. It was bizarre. Like I said, apart from the weird and rudeness of him, the date was good. So I always chuck it up as, well, maybe it's a bit awkward. But yeah, he is kind of an ass. And the next day he said, I had a lot of fun, but there's no spark. I'm sorry. So I'm like, there was no spark except there was. You even admitted there was. So what changed between 12 hours? Of course, you know what changed. You probably had another date. And it's more likely what happened. And I said, well, why don't we hang out as friends? And then the following weekend, I was like, hey, do you want to do a friend thing? He's like, no, I don't know you well enough to do those things. I'm like, what? That's how you get to know somebody. And you end up blocking the dude. But that is one example. I can think of thousands because I've been on dates over the years. I've been single for 7 years. I could talk about the worst relationship I ever had from a liar was blast from the past. But I really don't want to rehash that because it still hurts what he did to me. And someday I hope, and I really hope his brother and I have a wonderful conversation because that's what irritated me the most. Like the dude lied, but the fact his own brother never came to me and said, hey, what is the full story? I know it's been eating you, but it will never happen. And you know what? Let bygones be bygones, right? And then like a week or two later, I had another date with a Hispanic guy, very good looking. He showed up an hour late, which should have been red flag number 1. And the date went very well. Again, about 2.5 hours. It always lasts about that long. And then he did the thing that really was weird. He walked me to the car, which I was like, okay, no. But it was a well-lit area, literally right outside the door. And I knew the owners of the restaurant I was at. And so, yeah, it was, they made sure they were by the door when all that shit happened. And so I told the guy, I'm like, look, we just met. I would like to get to know you more, but please don't walk me to my car. First date, the guy shouldn't be doing that. And, but then he spun me around and kissed me on the lips, tried to French kiss me, which I backed away. And I said, I'm not having sex with you. I told you this is not a hookup situation. He's like, I know, but I really like you. I said, okay, I get it. I would like to have another date, but I told you, this is a friendship. That's how first dates should be. And I think that idea of going on a first date as a friend is becoming a lost art because, we rush. And a lot of these men, when they go on dates with women, They are expecting sex on the first date. And it's sad. Another one who was recent, I call him Richie Rich. He's a vice president of a well-known company. So I love my nicknames I give people. And he seemed nice on service, and dates were planned, but he kept pushing back the dates. Finally, about a few days ago, he's like, you know what? Let's wait till after Christmas. I'm like, we've been chatting for about a month. This is telling me now you're never going to go on a date with me, right? He never responded back. And he was funny because first he's like, I'm a vegan and I do the 1 meal a day thing. Oh, and he's full on vegan apparently. I'm nothing against vegans. Look, I eat vegan sometimes. I eat kosher. Okay. But I do eat a lot of vegan meals. Doesn't mean I'm vegan. I'm not against it, but I would date a vegan for sure. You know, I'm not, no issue with that. And then he was getting really weird. And then he sent me his beautiful dick pic. Yes. The one that us women just love to get on a daily basis without asking if we wanted it. Yes. By the way, I think there needs to be a website for men who just love to send their dick pics to women, random women they don't know. And the women can just post it online because they want their dicks known. So might as well give it a show. I mean, no, us women, we get dick pics on a daily basis. And look, yes, I know I write erotica, but there is no reason to send a picture of your male selfie to someone you don't know. Look, I get it. You're horny. You get aroused. Great. I don't need to see it. And what's worst of all is a lot of the men that send their dick pics are married men. Don't send it. Send one to your wife if you really need to send dick pic. Don't send it to me. That's what Blast from Past did twice, by the way. But, I saw it before in high school because we all changed on the band bus. It was nothing new to me. It did bother me because I'm like, whoa, dude, because he wanted more than that. And this is before I knew that he wasn't single. At the time I thought he was because he is a master manipulator on that. Yeah, it still bugs me because there's a history I don't want to get into. It's not as bad as y'all think, but it's just stuff I recall from high school era that's been agitating me about him. I liked him so much and he knew that, but he took advantage and it just really pisses me off. Yes, he owes me an apology, but he never will. Narcissists don't apologize. You know that. Okay, so, like I said, dating has just been horrible. And Richie Rich, after I call him on that was the end of it. Then I received on my Twitter profile for my author page, an account from a guy that I had dated from February. Well, we matched in February, so really like end of March, I would say until end of July, we had a thing. We dated sort of, but it was more like a hookup situation, a friends with benefit, if you want to call it, because the same person. I mean, it was convenient because he lives close. He's a nice guy. But again, nice only for sex, not for the other thing, taking me out on dates. And this is what this podcast is about. And it's just basically a red flag for all you women and men out there, because unfortunately this happens so often. So this is basically the relationship in a nutshell. We matched. It took him about 2.5 months to finally take me out on a date. He made plans and would cancel constantly, which was kind of like, why? What are you hiding? I'm not hiding anything. I did the background check. Yes, he is divorced. He is single. Maybe anxiety kicked in. He's a full-time single dad. Like I'm a full-time single mom, 2 kids. I let it go a little bit because it was during school year with kids' activities. It was a lot. But once they went on spring break, he promised a date, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm camping. Well, wait a minute, what happened to the date? Oh, we'll do it when we get back. I really want to see you, okay? And then we had a date planned when we came back, and he even messaged me like, hey, I'm going to come pick you up after I get the kids dinner. I'll take you out to a nice restaurant. I'm like, that's great. So I get ready, made my kids some dinner, and because we already had he wasn't going to pick me up. Apologies, because I don't allow that. We're going to meet somewhere. And the problem was the restaurant was never made, whenever, the time or the location. So here I'm getting ready and my mind's going, wait a minute, something isn't right. So I messaged him, hey, what's going on about the date? Oh, what date? Well, I'm ready. When are we meeting? Oh, well, about that, 7:30, it's getting late. I never mind. I'm like, wait, what do you mean it's getting late? You promised a date. I arranged things for my kids. What the hell? Are we ever going to go on a date? No, we will. Okay. And then we'll do it the next day. And the next day he was working, and then he sent me a selfie of him working, and I checked all that. Yeah, it was true. And he was so excited, and we're going to meet somewhere. And this time we had a time and a place planned. So now I'm getting ready, and I message him, hey, what's going on? And then he sends me a screenshot from his boss saying, about something that happened at work. He's like, this means I need to be there. I said, no, this means they're asking for a question from you. So you're basically getting out of the date once again. What is going on? Why do you keep canceling? Well, it's anxiety, you know? And then he's telling me his ex-wife had got chickens and it was random. And I'm like, okay, so what does that have to do with our date? Well, I just can't go out because, I got new chickens. I got to take care of that. I'm like, what the hell? At this point, I was pretty much done with him, but the lonely world of, lack of human contact, it's been hard. And I enjoyed chatting with him. So I thought, give him one more chance. And I did. And we had a date and it went well, better than I thought it would be. The problem was I noticed his body language and I know he wanted sex that night. And of course, I don't do that. I am no hussy. I will never do a hookup situation. That's the way I was raised. And after what happened with Blast from the Past, what he did to me, I never want to get back to a place again. And then we had a second date. Things went great. By third date, it got intimate. At that point, I felt comfortable. And after that, and it got intimate again another time. And then he got really weird. And I had noticed we never really had a proper date. It was more like we go to each other's homes and watch a movie and then the intimacy would happen. Again, all I wanted was a buddy to hang out with, to see what happened. So at that point, I felt comfortable being at his house. And I also knew, if he tried anything that did not, something that wasn't kosher, I could have kicked him where it counts and I would have left and probably called police. So, I always am prepared. And, but he was a gentleman and for the first time in life, I'm like, oh my God, someone's treating me right. But like I said, I noticed things were just every time he promised a date, he still would back out. Then he goes on a cruise. And before he goes on the cruise, he's telling me to use Snapchat. I said, we've been intimate already. And now you're telling me to use Snapchat. Well, I'm afraid my kids are going to, pick up the phone. I said, have they picked up the phone since? Well, no. So why are you asking me to use Snapchat? Well, I just thought it'd be a good idea. What are you hiding? Well, I'm not hiding anything. So why is it bothering you to ask me to use Snapchat? I can't do that. That's what people use to cheat. So what's going on? Are you divorced? Well, of course I am. I know he's divorced. But see, the thing is, what bothers me is I did look up his ex-wife. By the way, she is a beautiful woman, extremely beautiful. And it made me wonder, even though they're divorced, are they trying to work things out? That's what I wonder. Now, I've been to his house. There was no indication she lived there. Doesn't mean she lives away and comes to visit often, So, something obviously was just getting really odd. And I was like, I can't do this, this Snapchat thing. Well, then he texts me, I'm at the hotel. I'm like, okay, take a picture of the hotel, where you're at the room. Well, it's crowded. Everybody's in here. I'm like, I can take a selfie if I'm in a room with people. Why does it matter? Are you hiding me? Well, you're not hidden, I promise. So send me a picture. So he goes outside the hotel room in the hallway and takes a picture. And I thought, this is getting really weird. No, I just don't want people around. I was like, okay, if I'm not hidden and you claim that your kids know that you're seeing me, why can't you take a picture? So anyways, he, goes on the cruise and I barely talk to him because I'm just I'm done. This is getting really fucking weird. And so he talks to me on the cruise and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to make it up. I'm going to have a date when I get back. I'm like, that's fine. This is the final straw because what you're doing is weird. Date was planned in July. So he gets back. And let me tell you what happened. Nothing. He got out of it once again. Apparently the kids went whitewater rafting. This is the 5th of July. And the day was planned at 9:00. Okay. We're going to, about 8:00. We're going to go to a dinner and then, I don't know, maybe make out afterwards. I don't know. It's not always sex. It's going to be something fun. About 5:30, he messages me and says, I can't go. Guess who had to pick up the kids at whitewater rafting? So I'm Googling, did they go to Tennessee? Or, and I said, so you're saying you just got the kids? Yeah, I just got the kids, but I can't go out. I'm like, wait, your kids are teenagers and you're telling me you can't go out on a date. One's in high school, the other's in middle school, just like my kids. And we live close to each other. My kids can be alone when I go grocery shopping. I don't understand what the issue is. And they're alone when you're at work anyway. Well, yeah, I'm just too tired. I'm like, okay, so you're getting out of dating again. I'm like, dude, just don't talk to me again because obviously you have no interest in dating. No, I do. I'll make it up to you. Promise you next week. My parents will be in town and I'll take you out. This is the last straw. Well, I arranged it so my ex would take the kids. I have my kids full time, mind you. And it's a very hard thing to get my ex to take the kids for a few hours during the week. But the ex was like, okay, we'll do that. And this was arranged a movie date where he'd come to my house. We'd watch a movie, have some dinner. I was going to cook a nice meal. And he knew exactly what was happening. And we talked about it through the day. He gets home. I'm going to have a drink with my dad, and then I'll come over. 7:30 rolled around. My ex had the kids for 30 minutes. I only had 3 hours. And he knew that. I said, are you coming over? He ignores me. 8 o'clock rolls around. So you're not coming, are you? Well, I had too much to drink. I can't. I said, wait a minute. Why? You knew this was happening. I know. But I don't want to leave my parents alone. I'm like, wouldn't your parents want you dating? Well, they do. But, it was just bizarre excuses. And you're going, yeah, red flag. Of course it was. It makes a good story, doesn't it? I said, you disgust me for what you've been doing. You only use me for sex because apparently if you wanted to date me like you claim you want to, you would have by now. I know. I said, why can't you go on a date with me? Why am I hidden? You're not hidden, I promise. I said, I am. And then I said, you are disgusting what you've done. And I blocked him. But because I'm not used to the whole dating world, I wanted to hear him out. So I waited a couple of days, unblocked him, and he did apologize to me. And we had one more date. And of course, it turned into intimacy. Shocker. And then it got really odd after that. And then a couple more times. And August rolled around. We did not see each other at all. And every time I'm like, hey, do you want to go on a date? I can't. I got my kids. And it just got really weird. And then he told me his ex-wife moved down the road from him. I'm Googling. Of course, you can't find anything. I think I did. She does now. I found it like, okay, well, if she has kids, take me out. And then he would tell me a story like his eldest would go to a football game and he would drop her off. He would come home. I said, okay, then why don't you have me come over for a date? Well, I can't. And then it just got weirder and weirder. I finally, he goes on fall break. I finally just said, I texted him and said, I'm more than just a piece of ass, and blocked him. Okay. I cried like anyone would, I let it go. I did the funeral of the death of what the fuck relationship it was. And worked on my salty Vixen stuff and just trying to get my mental health back in order. And then the week of Thanksgiving, that Monday, he goes on my Twitter page and my professional Salty Vixen account and made 4 different accounts. I kept blogging him because I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. You gross me. You use me for sex. Like, what the hell's the matter with you? And look, I'm not against the whole intimacy thing. I mean, people know me as shy. I'm not shy. I'm standoffish because of a trauma that happened a long time ago that I still have it blocked. But I will never give into sex under peer pressure, which you never should. But sex should be, for anybody, meaningful, and it's very meaningful for me. So if I give into it, that's because I allowed it, because I know there's something special about you. And I care about you deeply, and I want to move on with this relationship. And when you break that trust, especially I'm a Sagittarius, fuck off. Leave me alone. I am not dial a fuck. Blast from Past was dial a fuck for me. He would call me, text me when he's up for it. And I was stupid not to realize that that's all it was to him. I was his actual virtual mistress, unbeknownst to me. You see why I'm bitter about that? That's why I make fun of it in my stories. Like, oh yes, I'm the femdom mistress today. Yes, that's me poking fun at what he did. Plus, femdom is a mistress, is a dominant person. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to talk to him, but after the 4th account, I knew he was going to keep making accounts and would follow me around. So finally, I unblocked him. Like, what's going on? You got my attention. I was a real shit for what I've done, and I'm sorry. I want to apologize. I want to make it up to you. Come over my house. It was on a Monday at 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, my kids are asleep, so why would I leave my house? You live like 2 minutes from me. It's okay. Your kids won't know. I'm like, I will never leave my kids alone at 11 o'clock at night when they're asleep. I'm sorry. Any parent does that, that's a bad parent. So he got in his truck. I told him to come over if you want to talk, and we'll talk in the driveway. And do what? Talk. Oh, only talk? How about if I pick you up and come to my house? I'm like, no, because you want sex. This is what you're calling me for, a booty call. That doesn't work like that, buddy. I stopped talking to you in August. It's now November. So now I know exactly what you want, and I'm not doing that. Sorry. But, I let him come over, and we did chat, and he's holding my hand. Apparently, his ex-wife said, oh, you're going to see your girlfriend. And I'm like, why would you randomly say that? Because we haven't seen each other in months, and it bothered me. And he's holding my hand, and I'm getting standoffish because I'm like, nothing's going to go beyond this. Well, I'm in the mood, whatever. And yeah, we made out. I mean, I'm an adult. But I did have sex like a man, try not to let the emotions get to me. So made out, and that was the last I talked to him, right? Well, no, that's a lie. The next day I said, so do you want to meet up for a movie on a date? Yeah, I would like a date on Tuesday. I'm leaving Wednesday about 3. But, I would love to go out with you. That would be great. Did it ever happen? Abso-fucking-lutely no. So I blocked him out of my life once again. And then this past Friday, because I was feeling lonely, and after Richie Rich had fucked me over with lying about wanting to go on a date because, oh, wait, I'm not adventurous like he thinks I am. Oh, by the way, Richie Rich told me that he's into threesomes, and he's not, but apparently he is. I'll talk, horse and pony trick thing. I don't know how you call it. But he only wanted me for sex, and that's why the date never happened. And, of course, I'm not going to do that. I don't care how much money you have, buddy. Yeah, Richie Rich, I'm talking to you. I've been rich. Dude, I've dated polo players. I've dated some celebrities. Not going to say who because it's a long time ago. I've been part of the rich crowd, and those celebrities actually treated me right. Pole players, much as horn dogs they are, treat me with respect. And you're thinking because you've got money that I'm going to pull off my panties for you? Hell no. I am not a whore. You may think I am, but I'm not. Just because I write smut? Buddy, I write smut because of what Blast from the Past did to me. That's why I write it. And I became good at it. And I've become a well-known author because of him. Because Blast from the Past back in the day wanted me to find my voice and be assertive. Well, I did. All right, so going back to the weird ex, as I call him. So yeah, we were talking on Thursday. It was Thursday this past week, and I was like, "Well, do you want to have a long talk? Let's, haven't seen each other in a while." I was like, "Yeah, come to my house." I'm like, "That's fine." I came in the morning, again prepared just in case I have to leave because I don't trust him. He creeps me out a little bit, but at the same time, he's like the only friend I have. I think that's why I put up with it because he is a friend, sort of, a hookup buddy, And we're not cuddling. I'm sitting one end of the couch is on the other. I put my feet on him because I'm a woman. Why not? I don't care. And then, boing. Oh, he was up for it. He had no problem letting me know. I'm feeling it on my feet. I'm like, oh, shit. And, I mean, look. I'm an adult, consensual, whatever. Yeah, we did it on the couch. It was hot. It was actually really one of the hottest sex I've ever had, by the way. I may put it into a story. I don't know. But then he got really weird after that. I remember even before all that happened, he was like, there's a car. Normally cars don't come this part of my neighborhood. And I said, what, expecting a hot Tinder date or your ex-wife? No. I just, and it was like a white car, I think. And he was just paying attention. And I'm like, what is going on? Nothing. You know what? Don't worry about it. Okay. That evening. Oh yeah, by the way, afterwards, we talked about the kids finally meeting so we can go forward with this relationship. That's, what the issue has been. And of course, do you think it happened? No, it did not, my friends out there. Oh no, a bunch of lie, as usual. And, anyway, so he had, he's talking about, yeah, well, the kids can meet Sunday. I think Sunday would be good. Okay, hold you on that. I will. Well, that evening, Friday night, I'm like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. It was great reconnecting with you. Yeah, it was too. And then a couple hours later, he was getting very weird, like distancing himself, pulling away. And I thought, uh-oh, what happened now? What's the new excuse? Oh, we ready for the new excuse? He had one. Yes. The new excuse was, I shouldn't have sex, I said, why? Well, I don't, it's me. It's just, I don't like having sex before marriage. I'm like, we've been intimate since about June. And now it's bothering you? I'm a bit confused, buddy. Why is this a new excuse now? What's going on? No, don't worry about it. We're good. Red flag kicked in. I go, this is why I broke up with him. So then I said, what's going on Sunday? What time do you want the kids over so they can meet? Because you said you want to progress this relationship, before with it. He says nothing. Saturday rolls around. Apparently they go to a basketball game. I reach out to him and still nothing. Finally, about 5:30, I was home for a few hours. I'm now just sitting down to relax. I'm like, normally we talk, right? Nothing. I'm reaching out. And then 3 hours later, we were watching a movie and I'm just getting to bed. Normally we talk and he wouldn't this time. I thought, oh shit, he's getting out of meeting once again. I knew it. So Sunday rolls around and it was yesterday. I said, hey, what's going on with the meeting? Is it happening? I need to know what time. Totally ignores me. He supposedly goes to church, so I let it go. By mid-afternoon, I'm like 3 o'clock. I repeat it again. Absolutely nothing. I know he sees the text. I finally said, you never had planned on the kids meeting. Am I correct? You did this again so you could just get sex. Oh, by the way, I want to point out Friday, he did say something. I'm not the hookup guy. No, I don't do those things. So I rebutted that with, by the way, you said you're not the hookup guy, but that's exactly what you are. You only want sex and nothing more because if you really wanted to date me, you would. I said, I'm disgusted by you. You knew about my triggers with Blast from the Past, how much he used me for sex. And it disgusts me when I think about it, because what he did, I will never, ever forgive him. And what you did was disgusting. I don't know what you're hiding, but I hope it was worth it. Because you know how I feel about you. You know I really like you. And once again, you break my heart, all because you wanted that little prick of yours in me. So you got satisfied. And that is so wrong to do. And by the way, if your kids ever brought home a guy that did exactly what you did to me, what would you tell them? What lie would you make up? I said, never, ever contact me again. And I blocked him. Before I blocked him, before I said never, ever contact me again, I want to point out, I gave him plenty of time to respond, because he's now giving me the silent treatment like Blast and Pass would do. And that's when about an hour ago, I said, never, ever talk to me again. Now, and block him. But before I blocked him, I happened to see on Instagram this woman by the name of Vanessa. She is a doctor, and she wrote something very beautiful on there that got me realizing I am worth it. I'm amazing. And you need that positivity. But she said, hi, just a note, as we get into those terrible weeks of holiday craziness and end of the year deadlines, please take care of yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but it's during these days of full throttle schedules and overextending ourselves that we need it the most. And this means eat better, blah, blah, blah. But that part of what she said in there, of the paragraph, woke me up and made me realize I am amazing. I'm a business owner. I've been through a hell of a lot. A lot of the abuse from these people. My ex, this, and the Blast from the Past. Now, people go, well, Blast from the Past, you're not over it. Oh, I've been over it. See, there is no deadline for healing. What Blast from the Past did for me, it goes back a lot further back than people think. And I get triggered every so often, especially when you are dating somebody that triggers it. And, instead of talking about it, and I try talking about this now ex, and yeah, it's disgusting that how people are. And, and the problem is when these guys do what they do, they have no remorse. They never apologize to the victims. Blast from the Past has never once apologized to me way back when. They held a grudge from him. Well, he did kind of when I brought up the grudge. He's like, I can't believe you still remember something what I did. And I'm like, it caused trauma. I lived with that for years, thinking that you hated me after what you did to me. Are you kidding me? Of course. But it's taken me a long time. I don't dwell on a sense like, oh, I miss him. Oh, I'm angry. I know. It helped when I get triggered like this from the emotions. I think I'm an amazing person. I'm better than that. And now I talk about it. I was afraid to talk about it for a long time because, I was cyberstalked by the other party for 3.5 years. And I let it go for a long time. And then I had now former friends tell me that it was wrong to write Salty Vixen. It was wrong to write bedtime stories to Salty Vixen. And I said, why? Because I created thought muse from my trauma? It's not him. Hell no. He ain't got nothing I want. I miss the personality per se. I miss him being nice to me. Yeah. I don't miss the dial of fuck thing. Hell no. That's what he did. I was Blast from the Past personal virtual mistress for dial of fuck. And that's why I'm disgusted. Even when I said to him on the phone, the last conversation I had, he said to me, you want this. You really want this. You hear me? You want this. I want you to hear me. I want to hear you say you wanted this. I said, not like that, dude. All I was a whore to you. Nothing more. Because if you wanted me, you would have asked me way back in high school. And you didn't. Oh, no. We'd mess around, but you never wanted me more. That was a secret to you, just like I was now. Never contact me again. And that was the end of it. Now, the secret in high school, you're thinking, oh, did he and I actually have sex? No, we did not have sex in high school. I'm not insinuating that. It was other messing around things that, teenagers do. I'm referencing May 6, 95 at Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm referencing a couple other things that I remember. And he would tell me to be discreet. And then what he would do is after that, things that would happen, he would avoid me for about 3.5 weeks. And I have written down in my diary. Yes, I still have my high school diary. I look back at the horrible grammar, but it was everything written on there was the trauma things that happened to me, what peers had done and said to me that I had no voice for. It makes a good book one day, and I have put it into a book. It would be a good story someday when I'm not emotionally connected to it. But I will publish it. Obviously, fictional characters with ideas from things. But I could talk about band camp and things that happen, and just make it a really cool story. Kind of like Drumline meets, I don't know, meets what's a good story? that cheerleading one, whatever. Like, one of those feel good movies, but it's going to have really good like percussion beats because, percussion is awesome. Anyways, and so are clarinets because I was a clarinetist at first and flautist. Anyway. All right. So my lovelies, I am done talking. I just want to tell my story. And the ex is now officially an ex because I am so disgusted by him. And I'd rather be single than dealing with somebody that's using me for sex. So anyways, and yes, I consented to it. That wasn't the issue. It was the fact that he had lied to get his way. And that is fucking disgusting. Shame on him. But he has no remorse. That's what's sad. And it still bothers me. What the fuck is he hiding? What is he hiding? Because his kids go to a school that my kids have friends there. I will find out eventually. And he knows it's something not pretty because if he really wanted to date me, he would have by now. So I am more than just a fuck buddy. And unfortunately, this happens to us women more often than we think. And it sucks. All right, my lovelies, I'm going to end this podcast by saying, I hope you have a lovely day. Until next time, this is Salty Vixen. Goodbye.
Come and share with me. So let's chat about the highs, let's chat about the lows. In this cozy little corner, anything goes. Every sip tells a story, every word brings a smile. With every conversation, we'll go that extra mile.